into the webinar, I'll sort of start the presentation.
Okay, and I'll just put my microphone and camera on mute until you're finished, or
if you want to, it's totally up to you.
Okay.
Let me go back. I'll just wait for everyone to log in. There we go. We've got one student on. Hi, we're just going to wait for a few more people to log in, and then we'll start the presentation shortly. Evening, everyone. We're just waiting a couple more minutes for people to log in, and then we'll start. Kristie, attendance might be affected with the load shedding, so just bear with us.
That's fine.
We just have to deal with that. But it will go up on our YouTube page, so everyone will still get to see it. A couple more minutes.
I think sometimes smaller the group, the better the chat we can have anyway.
Yeah, I think we'll just give it a go from now, and then if whoever logs in later can just carry on asking questions. Good evening, everyone. My name's Nico. I'm the Managing Director of Global Education. We're the local representatives of about 300 universities worldwide. And tonight we have Kristie, who's going to be talking about her university and what they have to offer. And we're going to have a little bit of a discussion at the end of her presentation, like a Q&A section. So you'll have an opportunity to ask questions directly to Kristie. I'll just read them out and she can answer them for you. So please feel free to ask questions. Just a little bit about what we do. We obviously help you with the initial consultation and find the right university for yourselves. We help you with on-campus accommodation, your applications, your visas, the whole processing of the applications is all done by us. So what really you need to know is what you want to study, where you want to study it, and then we'll take that process over for you and just make it as smooth as possible. Kristie, I'm going to hand over to you. I'll stop sharing my screen. But just quickly before I hand over, just some housekeeping rules. Please feel free to ask any questions either in the chat box or in the Q&A section, and I'll answer them in the background as best I can. But when we get to that Q&A section at the end of Kristie's presentation, I'll obviously ask Kristie and she can answer them directly for you. Cool. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and Kristie, over to you.
Thank you, Nico. Okay, let's get started. So as mentioned, I'm from the University of Technology, Sydney. Thanks for joining us today. I want to just let you know as well that this information is current as of March, but the most recent updates will always be on our website. So if you finish the information session today and you want to get some more information, of course, go to Global Education and also visit our website for the most up-to-date information. So I'm not sure how many people in the audience have been to Sydney or heard of Sydney or even seen UTS before. But today I just want to go over what UTS is, our location, where our campus is, our study areas, what UTS College is, and basically it's our pathway programs to UTS, and then what we also offer beyond the classroom at UTS. So who we are. We're a University of Technology anchored in a tech precinct. So we're located in the city of Sydney, closely located to the CBD district. We believe education is for all. So we have a lot of access programs for our domestic students. We have partnerships and collaboration, and that's part of our DNA. So we do work across industry and we are practice focused. We shape innovative and entrepreneurial graduates, and we're here to make a real impact through our research education engagement. I just want to take you on a short video just to highlight some of our rankings as well. So with that video, I just wanted to highlight there as well that UTS is ranked #1 in Australia as a top young university. So that's in the QS top 50 under 50 rankings, because we are still quite a young university considering the other universities in Australia. So where are we located? So we're located in the city of Sydney. Sydney is in the state, New South Wales. Perhaps, I'm not sure if the audience can let us know who is ever been to Sydney, or we can probably get to that later. And it's a large city in terms of its size and the population. And it's very multicultural as well. So one of the good things about Sydney is, depending on what you feel like eating, you can often find that cuisine in Sydney. So a lot of students really appreciate that. I just want to take you on a quick tour as well, because we are located in the city of Sydney. We are connected quite closely to the train, the bus, now the tram system, the light rail that runs through the city. So I just want to take you on a quick tour around the campus to see where we're physically located. So hopefully that gives you an idea about where the campus is physically located. In that video as well, there were a few highlights in terms of our facilities. One of those being the UTS Super Lab. We have 2 super labs for our science students on campus. There was also a visualization from the data arena, which is a 360-degree data visualization arena, usually used by research students to visualize their data sets. And also design students have used it to look at fabrics and textiles. And then also on there was highlighted the Moore Park campus, which is still in the city of Sydney, but the Moore Park campus is specially designed for the students doing sport and exercise management or sport and exercise science. And that is located right next to the Sydney Cricket Ground. And it's a great facility for students interested in that area. So basically as well, with our physical campus in the city, it's a porous campus. We open the neighbours. So located around UTS is Central Park, which is a shopping centre across the street from us. We have TAFE New South Wales, so students doing diploma studies or vet studies are studying there. And then the campus is quite open. So in the building located on this picture is UTS Central, and it does have a food court. And so you will see the public coming through the food court to use the food court and through the campus. It's part of the UTS nature. We're inclusive rather than exclusive, and we do like to collaborate. So our campus reflects that as well. Okay, I know I've used a lot of videos, but I think this student tells the story the best about our campus and our facilities. So I just want to take you on this short video as well.
Welcome to your new campus at UTS. My name is Rachel. I'm going to be your tour guide for the day, and we will get the chance to see the amazing buildings around campus. And first off, starting with building 2, which is right behind me. We are inside of building 2, so this is the building where the Faculty of Law is. We also have heaps of places available in which you can study even if you don't do law. We have the amazing and the big Hive Super Lab, which is really colourful, so you can take all the pictures that you want. Speaking of pictures, we also have the double helix staircase, which is considered the most Instagrammable spot at UTS. So in this building as well, you may also find the UTS library and the reading room. I'm standing right in front of building 11. So this is the building for the Faculty of Engineering and IT. As you may see, there's a beautiful pattern in building 11. So that is binary code, 1s and 0s, which basically codes for UTS. So some students may call it the cheese grater building because of how it looks, and others may call it the Fiat building, and that's because it stands for the Faculty of Engineering and IT. Here I am in building 10, and right behind me is the main student center. This is the place that you're gonna go to if you ever need to collect your student ID card, if you have any questions at all relating to your enrollment or admin before you start your degree. I am in front of building 7, or the Vicky Sarah building, and this is the science building. So this building is also known as the Colourful Windows building. Some important things to note, right behind me is the Super Lab. Science students do their practicals and labs over there. And if you need to take a break from everything that's going around campus, all you have to do is walk right down to this building and check out the Cornerstone Cafe. Here I am in the Alumni Green. So this is the spot where most students hang out, and you get the chance to do that too. Over there, we have a big and green lawn in which students can just sunbathe and sit with their friends. Over here, we have some chairs, tables, and some ping pong tables in which you can play with your friends. All you have to do is borrow some bats and ping pong balls from Activate right in building 1. Right over there, we have building 4, which is the science building, but most people know it because it has the gym and the sports hall. Here we are in front of building 8, or the business building. This building may also be called the Dr. Chow Chak Wing building or the paper bag building because of how it looks. In this building, you may find heaps of studying spaces available, so feel free to check them out whenever you want to have a quick study session with your friends. And of course, be sure to grab a cup of coffee because we do have a bit of coffee places around. We're in building 6, and that is the building for design, architecture, and building faculty. That is why some people call it the DAB building. In this building, you may find lots of creative spaces available. So that can be the 3D printing facility, the UTS Arts Gallery, and further labs. We're in the foyer of building 1, or the UTS Tower. Between you and I though, this building is what some students call the ugliest building at UTS. But we do still love it because it is home to many UTS services, and that is where also graduation happens, right upstairs in the Great Hall. There's heaps on offer around the UTS campus, so whenever you do get the chance, be sure to walk around and discover your new campus.
So hopefully that gave you an idea of what we have on offer at campus and the facilities, depending on what faculty you're interested in studying. Depending on that, we lead into this conversation. What do we actually have on offer at UTS? So as the campus video explained, we have engineering and IT, science, business, design, architecture and building. We also have law. What have I left out here? Health, of course. So nursing, graduate school of health as well, if you're looking at clinical psychology, physiotherapy, genetic counselling. So a lot on offer at UTS. We also have communication. So if you're looking at journalism, creative writing, digital options as well in communication, and education. So some different options there as well, including linguistics and TESOL options. So I might move on and just talk a little bit about the teaching and learning at UTS. So one of the things a lot of students come back to report about UTS is the actual teaching and learning methodology at UTS and how different it was to perhaps their schooling and their bachelor degree studies if they came for masters. So at UTS, what we really want to do is prepare our students for the workplace. So I mentioned earlier, we have a practical focus in our education as well, and we want people to be work ready when they graduate. So we try to look at things like digital literacy, especially now with technology leading the way, as we've noticed in the past year, how important that's been. We look at problem solving skills, the ability to work across disciplines. So you may be studying in the Faculty of Business, but you may notice that some of your subjects may be offered in different faculties, or there are programs offered in transdisciplinary innovation. And also, if you're looking at undergraduate studies, you could perhaps add the creative intelligence and innovation program to your bachelor degree, which is a cross-disciplinary program. And we also look at interpersonal skills, which is highly valued by employees once you graduate. So who are our students? What do our student body look like? Basically with UTS in 2020, we had around 46,000 students enrolled. So if you're looking at undergraduate, that was around 33,000 undergraduate, around 10,000 postgraduate. And if you're looking at research, that was around 2,000 research students. So out of the 46,000 students, around 13,000 of those students were international students. And our students come from a wide variety of countries, so over 120 countries. And what we're looking for to create in our graduates is for them to be entrepreneurs, to be global citizens, to be creative thinkers, socially responsible, ready for the future of work, adaptive, flexible, resilient, and those looking to make a real world impact. So if that sounds like you, if that's the path you're on, then perhaps UTS is the study option you should consider. We also have UTS College, which is a pathway option for students who aren't eligible for direct entry to the UTS course. So with UTS College, your options are English, Foundation, Diploma, or Pre-Masters. So depending on the UTS course, if the IELTS requirement for the course is 6.5, you may want to do English preparation through InSearch. If you haven't finished a comparable Year 12 qualification, then you could consider a foundation pathway to a bachelor degree. If you have finished your comparable Year 12 qualification, but your average mark is not high enough for direct admission to the bachelor, you can consider a diploma pathway. And diploma pathways tend to give you advanced entry to the bachelor degree into the second year of the bachelor, especially if you're looking at business or engineering and IT. And something new at UTS College is a pre-masters. So we'll get to that a little bit later. So with InSearch, or UTS College, it's now called, what happens is you would apply to UTS College for the pathway program, if you're looking at foundation, diploma, or pre-masters, and then they're your one point of contact for the whole package. So they can package the UTS College course or the foundation, diploma, pre-masters with the UTS bachelor or master's degree program. And that way you can apply for a visa for the duration of both courses. It also provides guaranteed entry based on the completion of your diploma or pre-masters with preset conditions there. You can also fast track into the first or second year depending on the program you're following. It also offers personalised support because the class sizes are smaller as well, and there are a lot of student support services at UTS College. And also as a UTS College student, you have access to the UTS campus. Even if you're doing a Diploma of Science in a UTS College, you have access to use the UTS Super Labs for your practicals. So here's an example of a few of the pathway options. So as I mentioned, if you haven't finished Year 12 equivalent, then you'd follow the foundation pathway. You could follow foundation to diploma to the degree if you're thinking about advanced entry into the bachelor once you finish at UTS College. If you have finished a Year 12 equivalent and your average is slightly lower than the requirement for direct entry to the bachelor, then follow the diploma to degree, bachelor degree pathway. And then also another option now is to look at the pre-masters. So if you're not eligible for direct entry to the UTS master degree, then you can consider a pre-masters. So with the pre-masters, they're available in either a 4 or 8 month program. And then what will happen is you'll enter into the UTS master degree from the 2nd semester of the master's degree. So you basically receive exemption for the 1st semester of the master's once you finish at UTS College. So those pre-masters are available in accounting and finance, communication and technology practice. So the other highlight I wanted to talk about at UTS is support services. So not only are you going to be studying a degree at UTS, while you're studying at UTS, you also will have access to all the support services. So whether that's academic support, housing support, health and wellbeing. So we do have GPs and counsellors on campus for our students, whether it's financial assistance, and the other thing is mentoring and networking, which is highly relevant when you're a student and especially studying abroad, to make those networks while you're studying. So access those additional activities and options as well. Or whether it's just support with finding a job or preparing for your career when you graduate through the career service. So the career service offers one-to-one counselling or consultation, which you can book online once you're a UTS student. And that gives you a 10 to 15 minute one-to-one consultation, whether you can ask about your resume or interview skills. And then if you need a further follow-up, you can book a further follow-up after that. That's still running online for students who are studying offshore at the moment, and face-to-face if you are in Sydney. As I mentioned as well, the accommodation options. So UTS does have housing on campus, and we also do provide support if you are looking for your own private accommodation. So I'd suggest you check out the UTS housing website just to see some tips as well they provide for commencing international students. So I did mention that it's really important to network beyond the classroom. And so these are some of the options you may want to look at as well. So with UTS, of course, as a university, we have over 130 clubs and societies at UTS. So you may want to look at joining different clubs, whether it's badminton, volleyball, debating, law society. There's a lot of different options available. We also have the BUILD program, which is a global leadership program. And so that's for local and international students to sign up to the program. It doesn't have a fee to sign up. It does, however, sometimes, depending on the program options, there might be a small cost to do some of the activities. However, some of those are covered by grants as well. And we have had students do some offshore placements during semester break as part of that program. And we've also got UTS startups. So if you're having entrepreneurial ideas and you're thinking about starting your own business, we'd suggest you connect with UTS startups. They can also connect you to other students or businesses who may be able to give you support or advice in your ideas, or you perhaps might have like similar ideas to someone else and they'll connect you to those people. You may be considering global exchange. So even as an international student at UTS, there is still the option to do global exchange options. And students doing international studies, of course, will do global exchange as part of their degree. There's the SOL Awards, so that's Social Leadership and Volunteer Program for students. And then there's the Shopfront Community Program, which provides solutions for community-based organisations. So you can go to the UTS website and see some of the projects that Shopfront has been working on. And then in addition, there's also different options for placements, workshops and courses within your degree at UTS that could be additional. So I have reached the point where I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want to add to chat.
Awesome, thanks so much, Kristie. Whilst we wait for students to type in some questions, we've got some that have obviously featured throughout the webinar series that we've done. So I'm just going to ask you the questions, and obviously we see how the university sort of is handling these situations. So the main one that's come across is one: how is the university dealing with international students and the whole COVID situation? How are the international students on campus coping, and how is the university helping the international students who haven't managed to make it to campus?
The campus, yeah, it's been an interesting. Yeah, it's been an interesting time, especially for us, because a lot of our existing students even, they returned offshore during that Christmas holiday period last year, which is in fact just before the borders closed for Australia. So some of our existing students were stuck offshore, not only the commencing students that started last year. But the good thing with UTS is that we've always had a hybrid model. So we've also had the online options available to students. And then basically what we did last year was, I think it was a week or 2 week period where there was a cessation of studies, and then all the academics pivoted from their face-to-face to virtual options for students, because we did have our domestic students last year studying from home as well, online. So during that period, the academics pivoted to online options for all their programs, and which was really good for the offshore students as well. Basically, yeah, we've gone back into a campus reactivation now. So we do have a hybrid offered now. And that means that if you're in Sydney, you have the option to come on campus, perhaps for practicals, tutorials, but lectures are still being offered online. And then international students who are offshore are being offered online options for their tutorials, and of course the lectures as well. So when the students are going to enrolment, they'll be able to see in their timetable options, whether it's a face-to-face or online subject option.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Kristie. We've got a couple of questions that have come through. I'm going to ask the second one because it sort of relates to what we've just been discussing, and then we'll go back to the first one. So the second question is actually from Raphael, and he wants to know, would you say that students studying online are receiving the same quality of teaching as they would face-to-face?
Good question. I know it's a question everyone has. Basically, what we've found is that the students studying online, the academics are actually giving additional support. So we had reports back from some of the academics mentioning that they would run their normal session, but then they would also have follow-up chats with the students if they wanted additional support through either Zoom or Teams we use at UTS. So the actual content is similar, or if not the same, as what a student sitting on campus is going to be receiving. But the additional support is something that we didn't think about prior to COVID. So there, I would say, if not the same, you're getting a better service in terms of the support you're actually having access to. Because I think a lot of the academics and the support staff at UTS are aware of the issues with the students studying offshore. So there's a lot of leniency around support as well at the moment.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Kristie. Now to the first question. It's from a student called Kashala, and he or she would like to know, what is the admission requirements based on the South African qualification? Meaning, can I apply for Masters at the university with a South African degree?
Yeah, good question. So I don't have all my reference material available at the moment, but basically, if you're looking at master degree studies, we have to check if your bachelor degree is comparable to an Australian bachelor degree. In most cases, it's quite common that yes, the bachelor degree is comparable to an Australian bachelor degree, but we need to look at every application case by case. I guess as well, if you want to indicate which masters or what area you're looking at, I could probably give you an idea if there's any additional assessment criteria as well for that course. But in general, the majority of students who apply to UTS for master's degree studies from South Africa, we do recognise the qualification. But as I said, it's just a case-by-case assessment for each qualification.
Awesome. Okay, well, hopefully maybe the student will put through another question saying which masters, and then we can maybe get a bit deeper into that. Whilst we wait, Kristie, I've got another question here. In regards to, obviously the university is always looking to help students, graduate students, sort of, help guide them in terms of their employability and help them find, jobs and things like that. How's the university helping students who are starting online to build those types of connections?
Good question. So UTS Careers is still the center for those students to contact, and they're offering their services online for those students during this online-offline process. And then basically, depending on the program you're choosing at UTS, you'll also find a lot of the programs at UTS have inbuilt either work placement or workplace experiences, or even internship-like programs. So say you have a student taking up the Bachelor of Science in IT or the Bachelor of Engineering Honours, those students have the option to do an extended program, which includes a diploma of professional practice. And those students are actually doing work placements, as usually it's 2 6-month period blocks, which is same as 1 year. But what's happened is during the COVID period, because of lockdown, because of students offshore, there's been a lot of flexibilities around that. So some of the students offshore are actually doing their placements in their home country rather than Australia. Some of them are doing virtual placements. And so it's been quite flexible in that sense around what work placement or work experience is to prepare those students. But as I mentioned as well, if you're not doing one of those work placement type programs, UTS Careers is the hub that you would go to seek that support. There's a lot of online industry focused experiences as well that UTS Careers provides to students. So when you go to the UTS website, you can have a look and actually see what's coming up in terms of those activities. And because of the nature of the environment at the moment, those activities are offered online as well.
Kristie, I'm going to go to the scholarship section, because obviously that's one that students always talk about, and I'm sure the university has the usual academic scholarships and whatnot. But as I'm talking, the scholarship question came in. Let's go to Kishala's. Is there any scholarship for international students offered by UTS or government?
I'm going to put a link in the chat in case anyone wants to take it away with them after today's session. But yes, UTS does have a variety of scholarships depending on what level you're coming to UTS from. So for a lot of students coming to UTS from South Africa, if we're using the senior secondary qualification to enter the bachelor degree, basically we would be automatically checking that qualification to see if the student is eligible for the undergraduate academic excellence scholarship, which is 25% of the tuition fees. So if a student applies, we'll automatically assess for that, and they'll receive a scholarship letter if they're eligible. In addition to that, for the bachelor degree students, if they're a high achieving student, they have extracurricular activities, they've perhaps done volunteering or have, that global focus already in some aspect, I would suggest the student also applies for the Vice Chancellor's International Scholarship, which is a full tuition fee scholarship. Generally, there's around 2 available each intake, so it's highly competitive, but for high performing students, we would definitely recommend you apply for that. I'm not sure how many students in South Africa are doing it, but we also have one if you're doing your IB qualification. So that also requires a separate application. If you're studying your IB and you're coming into a bachelor at UTS, that will require a separate application and also is competitive in terms of the highest achieving students would be eligible for that scholarship. But if you're looking at master's degree studies, there's the option similar to undergraduate. There's the option for students who apply will automatically consider the application for the postgraduate academic excellence scholarship, which is a 25% scholarship. And then again, you still have the option of applying for the Vice Chancellor's International Postgraduate Full Tuition Fee Scholarship. So just depending on the student's academic grades. But if you're applying for those full tuition scholarships, you do need to apply for the bachelor or master's first. And then if you're eligible for those courses, you would apply for the scholarship in addition.
Okay, perfect. We've got a student who's asking a question and keeps raising his hand, so he obviously wants us to get to it. So I'm just going to read it to you. The student says, I'm from Nigeria and I did my undergraduate studies in Cyprus. Technically, all my studies were in English, but I don't have an IELTS test. Do I stand a chance to get admissions for a master's and a scholarship?
Okay, good question. So basically, depends on the program you're looking to study at UTS. If you're looking to study a program that has an IELTS requirement of 6.5 overall or 6.0 in writing, we can consider if you're, whether your schooling, your bachelor was studied in English. If it was, usually we need what we refer to as a medium of instruction letter, and we could use that as a method of meeting the English language requirements. However, you should also check in terms of visa requirements in case you also would need an IELTS for your visa application. But for UTS, as long as you've studied your undergraduate or your high school, your whole schooling in English, generally we can use that as a method of meeting English language requirements. If you're looking for a program that has a higher IELTS requirement, then you will need to meet that requirement by sitting an English language test that's recognised, whether it's IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, for those higher English requirements.
Perfect, thanks, Kristie. I'm just going to quickly stop sharing your screen just to share ours, 2 seconds. I just want to show everyone just our contact information. If they do want to start the application process, all the details are there. We can get the ball rolling in terms of starting an application and you know, tell the students what documents are required. Kristie, just one follow-up question to that scholarship side of things. Obviously, we've covered the academics and what might be available, but obviously coming from South Africa and we have some students from Zimbabwe and a few other Southern African countries who are highly active and sporty. Does the university have any sports scholarships or any particular sport that they're looking for athletes from? Because that is a question that we do tend to get. Obviously, we haven't got it tonight, but I thought I might as well ask it because it does happen all the time.
Yeah, we have that program, but generally it's for our domestic students coming from, from Australia into studies at UTS. There is an elite sports program, but for international students, the scholarships I mentioned are generally they're merit-based scholarships rather than extracurricular kind of sports or arts scholarships. So we'd be looking at the student's academic background for eligibility.
Okay. I think that's it. I don't see any more questions coming through on either the chat or the chat bar or the Q&A section. Kristie, I just want to say thank you so much for being part of this webinar series that we've been doing. Obviously, it's a bit of a change from the usual expo that we do in person and going from city to city, but I'm sure it was useful to the students that were on, and obviously for the students who are going to see this later, please feel free to either contact us or Kristie, or if you want to contact us to be put in touch with Kristie, we're more than happy to do that. But I think someone's raising their hand. Yes, we've got another question.
Oh, I just want to add as well, Nico, if I can. I'll just put a link in the chat as well. We have a virtual open day coming up soon. So on the 25th of March, there's a virtual open day and students are welcome to register and visit any of the sessions on that day. We're going to have some more sessions on admissions process, scholarship opportunities. The faculties will be hosting their sessions and related to careers in STEM or my future career in business with academics. And we'll also have a panel of students talking about their student experience at UTS. So feel free, anyone that wants to join that, just join via the chat, virtual open day. Basically as well, good news as well for global education, we'll be extending the application fee waiver voucher code. So there'll be a waiver of the application fee until the end of April because of that.
Awesome, thank you so much.
That's all right.
Just to follow up, I think there's a student, the Nigerian student wants to ask another question. I'm going to give him a couple more seconds to maybe type something. But what we can do for the students that were on the webinar and who've registered, we can also send them that link at the end of this this webinar directly to everyone who registered, so that we can obviously just make sure that they have that information and are able to go into those virtual open days.
Great.
Cool. I don't think he's typing a question.
Okay, maybe just saying it's very good morning for me here. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here, so.
Okay, Kristie, I'm not going to keep you on too long. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of this. And I hope the next one's actually in person, because those always tend to be a lot more fun, a bit more interaction.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back over there. So
awesome. Thanks, Kristie. I wish you all the best for the rest of your day. I know we've got you up bright and early, but yeah, take care, and we'll see you in person next time.
Thanks so much. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Cheers.